that factors are all the numbers that you can divide by. Boys, can you put your calculators down for a minute, please, so you can focus on the lesson? You need your sheets out, pencil, ready to go. Multiples are the same thing as your timetables. So today we're going to expand on what we did last lesson, and we're learning about something called Hcf and Lcm. First of all, we need to know what they stand for. Hand down. That's okay. That was the word from yesterday you were supposed to finish. That was... No, it's 2. So, HCF, it stands for highest common factor. No talking, please. If I want people to yell out or tell me an answer, I will ask for it, okay? So otherwise, completely quiet. The HCF, or highest common factor of a number, is the largest factor that is common to the numbers in your question. So usually in most questions, I'll be giving you 2 numbers, and there's an example here showing you. For example, find the highest common factor of 24 and 40. What you do is you write down the factor lists like we were doing last lesson. Now, these aren't our examples yet, so I'm going to do this the quick way. I'm going to go straight to putting these in ascending order. So for 24, the list will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. For the number 40, the factors are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, and 40. In order from smallest to largest. And that's what we learned how to do yesterday. We're looking for the highest number that is in both of those lists. So looking through them, the highest number that we can see in both of those lists, we can see a 2 happening in both of them. We can see a 4 happening in both of them. We can see an 8 happening in both of them. So the highest one is going to be the 8. So let's just fill in what it says underneath. The common factors, so there are actually 3 common factors. The common factors were 2, 4, and 8. But we're looking for the highest common factor. So the highest one is the 8.
Do you have to write the 1 like as a common factor?
When you write out your factor list, oh, yeah, you're right. Technically 1, yep, okay. I should have put a 1 in there as well, because 1 was a common factor, yes. So 1 is a common factor.
Do you have to write and 8 or can you just do?
You could do another comma, that's fine. Timo?
No, I don't have my theory booklet.
How come?
I think I might have left it. There is no theory.
It's all in the one booklet. So we are on page 5 of the one booklet.
Are they the answers or the... Is it the answers?
Do you have the other booklet?
No. It's not on my booklet.
Year 7, you will find I get rather impatient with people who are constantly forgetting or losing their things. That is your biggest job, is to make sure you have your stuff each lesson ready to go. We can't learn maths if we don't have the right equipment. Next dot point, we're up to LCM. Nope, and don't yell out, please. It is lowest common multiple, M for multiple. Lowest common multiple. Okay, it refers to the lowest or smallest multiple that is common to both of the numbers provided in the question. Okay, because if you think about it, multiples are your timetables. And we often just list the first 5 or 6 of them, say, but they could keep going forever. We don't want to find the highest common multiple because that would be impossible because it keeps going forever if we really wanted it to. We're trying to find the lowest number that is in common to both of them. So there is a little example here. Find the LCM or lowest common multiple of 12 and 20. So first of all, we list off some of our times tables. For 20, 20 times 1 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. 20 times 3 is 60. 20 times 4 is 80. 20 times 5 is 100. 20 times 6 is 120. And I'm just going to put ... after that because that could keep going. And I don't really know if I've gone far enough. Sometimes you might have to go, I can't see anything in common yet. I better keep doing some more multiples. Let's now go and list some of the multiples of 12. So 12 times tables. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. I'm going to keep going for a while here. 84, 96, 108, 120. I kept going because I wanted to find not just one, I wanted to find a couple of numbers that were multiples, that were in common. When I look at those, hopefully you will see that 60 is in that list and in that list. Also, 120 is in both lists, which is why I extended my 12 timetables out so far. So if I was trying to list the common multiples, it says underneath there, therefore the common multiples of 20 and 12 are, the first one was 60, the next one's going to be 120. Even though I haven't written any more multiples down, hands up, don't yell out, what is the next multiple going to be? If that is in common. Nope. You want to have a try?
Yeah, 108.
Yes, correct. So every 60, those numbers are going to overlap again. So it would keep continuing like that. But the lowest one is the one that we're interested in. Okay, you're not going to get questions that ask you to find the highest ones. Like I said, we're always interested in the lowest one, and the lowest number is the 60 that happened in both of those lists. On the next page, there's a little extra note here for those of you who like to have a different way of doing things sometimes. It says here, note, the lowest common multiple of two numbers can always be found by multiplying the two numbers together and then dividing by their highest common factor. Now, I'm only giving you this as an option. For most of you, I do not suggest that you use this method. I think it's much easier to list out your multiples and find the one that's in common. Because to use this method, you have to be able to find the highest common factor by sight, preferably, unless you want to be doing extra work to list out all your factors. So it takes more work. So if I look at those two numbers, in the example here, the lowest common multiple of 20 and 12, which is the question that was that the question we just did? No, it wasn't. Very similar though. The highest common factor we need to find first. Now you could sit there and write out all of your factor lists, the factors of 20, the factors of 12. Does anyone want to have a, oh actually it says there. Oh, I was going to ask you what it was, but I've written it there already. The highest common factor is 4. Okay? Some of you could probably know that by looking at those lists. Without looking at the list, sorry, you'd know it in your head. Others you would need the lists. To use this little rule that it's telling me here, you multiply your two numbers together, so 20 and 12 were the two numbers, and you divide by the highest common factor, which we worked out was a 4. And that gives you, you've got calculators, that gives you the result 60. So it was the same question as the last one. There's two different methods. That one's just an additional method. As I said, I strongly suggest that you use the first method, though it is the easiest and least confusing one. Okay, so that's the one that I'll be doing when I do questions up here. So here we go. Let's do our proper examples here. Like what you need to do, find the highest common factor, or HCF, of 36 and 48. So first of all, let's list off all the factors of 36. Now, it is easier if you do your timetables on the side first so that you don't miss any. So we start at 1 and we go 1 times 36 makes 36. Then we move on to 2. 2 times 18 makes 36. 3, yep, 3 is going to work because 3 times 12 makes 86. We move on and we see if 4 works. Is 4 going to work? Yes. It's 4 times by 9. Thank you. 4 times 9 is 36. Is 5 going to work? And this is where yesterday I was getting some of you on your calculators, and we're checking these on our calculator. 36 is our number. We go, oh, is 5 going to work? We go divide by 5. No. If it gives you a decimal, that is not a factor. So 5 doesn't work. Yes? Yes, that's also true. Yes, correct. All right, so 5 doesn't work. Is 6 going to work? So, yep, I know some of you are better at timetables than others, so I'm using the calculator to demonstrate for those of you who need that extra help. So, yes, 6 works. 6 times 6 makes 36. Now, yesterday, the question is always, where do I stop? When do I stop looking for more things? As we write these times tables down, the first column there, we're checking each number going up by 1 as we go up. So they're increasing as we go down that column. On the other side, these ones are increasing as we go up. Once these two numbers down the bottom here get to about the same level, so they're both 6s, we're at the same number, there's not going to be any more to find. Because 6, 9, 12, 18, 36, they're going to be the bigger numbers going back up in the high side for the factors. Okay? So once you come down to something like, say, 5 times 7, that might be your last set of, not for this question, obviously. But if I had one that was 5 times 7 as my last set of timetables, then I would need to check 6 still to make sure 6 didn't work, but that would be it. Okay? Do you know what I mean? Is that making sense? Good. All right. Once we've got that written down, we then still need to write them in ascending order. So we go down that first column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then back up the other side. Don't write the 6 twice though. Okay, so 6 is just once, then 9, 12, 18, and 36. Okay, then let's do the same thing for 48. So 48 is going to be 1 times 48. It's going to be 2 times 24. Then you're going to check 3. You're going to go, does 48 divide by 3? Does anyone checked it? It's 3 times? 16. Good. Use your calculators. Does 4 work?
Yes.
4 times?
12.
Yes. Is 5 going to work?
No.
No. Is 6 going to work?
Yes.
Yes. 6 times 8. So see how 6 and 8, we're very close now. The only number that's left in the middle there is a 7. Is 7 going to work? No. So we found them all. Okay, so now we write them down in order. Going down the left-hand column, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And then back up the right-hand side of that list, 8, 12, 36, 24, and 48. Whoops, 48. Okay, so looking through... Oh, I thought I'd missed one.
36.
And then 48. 8, 12, 36, 20. What? Let me just backtrack there.
24, 36, 48. Wait, what?
That shouldn't be 36. That was a 16. That's why I'm messing myself up. And that one was a 4 times 12. I'd miswritten that. I'd written one of those numbers down wrong. That's why I was writing it down wrong. So 12, 16, 24, and 48. For some reason, when I did that, I said 16, but I wrote 36. Sorry, wrote the wrong number down.
12, 16, 24, 48.
So 2 times 24 is 48. 3 times 16 is 48. All right. So we've got our lists. We are looking for the highest common factor. So looking through those lists, the highest number that is in both of them appears to be the 12. Can't see any number there higher that's in both lists. We don't want the smaller ones, we just want the higher ones. So the answer is going to be 12. Please take the time to actually write out your factor lists. People who try to just go 12 in their head often make a mistake, which is why that second method at the top of the page, often people make a mistake if they try to use that method for finding the lowest common multiple. All right, question 2. Find the lowest common multiple of 5 and 11. So first of all, we're going to list off our 5 times tables. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, oh yes, 30. How far do you think we're going to have to go? 35, 40, 45. Well, let's have a look. Let's see if we've gone far enough. 11 times tables are 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. I'm going to have to keep going higher, aren't I, on my other one? So back to my 5 times tables. 50, 55. Okay, so I had to get to one that was an 11 times table. So there it is. The 55 came up in both lists. So the lowest common multiple is 55. Does anyone want to have a try? Just having a practice to see how we do it. The second method to do that, the multiplying part. The first thing you need to be able to do is tell me what the highest common factor of 5 and 11 is. Yes, first. That's the lowest common multiple. That is the answer to my question. But to use the second, not multiple, we're talking about factors. 55 is a multiple, it's not a factor. Yes, Jai? No, factors are smaller. Factors are smaller. Ronan?
Wouldn't the only common factor be 1?
Yes, correct. The only common factor, if you were to list out all the factors of 5, you only get 1 and 5. If you were to list out all the factors of 11, it's only 1 and 11. They're both prime numbers. So the only factor that both of them have is the number 1. So to show that second method, the process was, so this is an OR, to times the two numbers together, 5 times 11, and divide by the highest common factor, which is just a 1. 5 times 11 is 55, and 55 divided by 1 is still 55. So you get the same answer. But there's that whole confusion at the beginning going, what is my lowest common factor first? All right. So we're going to stick to part B. We're going to stick to our first method. Question B, we want to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 10. Let's list off our 6 times tables. So 6 times 1 is 6. Ferris, you won't have a chair if you're swinging on it. You'll have to kneel. So don't swing on your chair, please. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 6s are 36. Let's stop there and see if that's enough. Let's go our 10 times tables. 10, 20, 30, 40. Well, we've actually already gone past it, haven't we? See, I've gone past the 30. That's happened in both lists, so I can stop. So my lowest common multiple...
It's every 30, that one.
Yeah, but we only want the lowest one, so we can just stop at the 30. Very good. Okay, so that's it. That's what you're practicing today. So it says there you're doing pages 7 to 9.
When it says list